Like, look, cuz, don't do this, don't do that. You see what I'm saying? He probably would have been around that wrong direction because he jumped out there, though, and it was like, I don't want you to do the shit you doing. This is what I did, though, you know what I'm saying? Why you gonna do this shit when I did this shit, you know what I'm saying? But you don't know what you're doing. So when I got that nigga that night, oh man, that night, hey look, that night was a bad motherfucker.
Now, Night Skool is a new segment on 90.9 The Vibe. We're gonna be kicking the game. We're gonna give you culture, conversation, and the knowledge your teacher can't give you with a vibe that the club just cannot provide. Y'all stay tuned, man. I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit more about myself after this next song. It's your boy KC,
Koran.
90.9, where it's always a vibe.
He had straight black hair. He always had really, really good hair and beautiful eyes. And he's always been my genius son. He was always advanced. You could make out his words at 6 months. He was a talker. I was born in Texas at Caldwell Air Force Base. Moved to Long Beach, California in the first grade. So I have two homes. I am from Texas and California, but I grew up in Long Beach. Koran was 10 months when I moved here. But actually, I got pregnant here. I left your dad in '98. And I hid from him for 3 months. And then he found me. And then we got back together and we stayed here 11 months. And then we moved back to California. And I had you. I moved back to California and I was 2 months. And then I had you in California. And then we moved back here in 2000, October of 2000, when you were 10 months. And we've been here ever since. And I met my husband now when Koran was 15 months. And I was still married to my first husband, your dad. But I wanted to get away from him. So I met my soulmate, my husband now, Willie. And he helped me raise Koran.
Oh man, I'm from Eastwood, man. Weber Garden Apartments. Man, I think I went back there back in 1985. What may be more surprising to people, I came up in the Catholic school from pre-K to I say about 5th grade. Where I'm from, it's totally different from where everybody is now. You know what I'm saying? Back then, it wasn't no social media. We couldn't post where we was. We couldn't post, you know, what we doing today, what we eating for breakfast. Really, nobody really cared about what y'all was eating for breakfast back then, or, you know, what y'all had on that day, or what y'all was gonna be doing that day. But today's generation is a little bit different. You know, a lot of things happened between then, before I met my son. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't want to think or call him my son, but man, I've been knowing him. I was feeding this nigga bottles, so. If he really ain't your son and you holding him and you feeding him bottles and making sure he getting nourishment and everything, you keep doing that for a long time, pretty much they become your son. And so I don't know no other way to say it. You know, he does have another father, which I'm cool with that, and me and him cool. But like I always told him, it's just me and him, and we just got to try to raise these kids. And that's just about it. So anyway, you know, once I met KC, man, I remember I used to pick him up, man, and take him to daycare. He used to sing these Tupac. He always used to sit in the front, man. I used to have his 1996 Cadillac DeVille, man. I used to always take him to daycare. everything wasn't always straight with, you know, his dad and his mom and everything, but I told him, say, man, I got it, man. I take him to school from here on out, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing I wasn't trying to take over his responsibilities or nothing. We were just helping each other out, you know what I mean? So I used to play these Tupac songs every day, man, and Koran would just sit up there and sing all the lyrics to these songs, man. I used to take him to school every day, and before I knew it, when I put this song on, he knew the chorus and everything. And it was My Block by Tupac. So if y'all ever listen to that and y'all hear My Block, when that song come on, Koran know all the lyrics to that whole song.
Their dad was a gang member, one of the founders of the Rolling 20 Crips. He was a good provider, and he was an abusive man. So I suffered domestic violence for about 7 years, and then I became an abuser. And I started abusing him, which I started picking up things and hitting him with it. Oh gosh, it was the worst time of our life.
It is your boy KC, and we are back at it now. You know, here at Night Skool, right here on the Vibe 90.9, you know, we gonna get a little bit personal. You know, I told y'all I would tell y'all a little bit about myself last time, and I am, you know. So originally I was born in California, moved to Fort Worth, you know, due to some family circumstances with my mother and my big brother, you know, and she ended up meeting my pops, right? I grew up on the east side of Fort Worth, to be exact. Eastwood, you know, that's what they call my neighborhood, you know. And I would say it's quite the experience, you know. It's quite the experience. You see it all growing up. But what it does, it makes you a strong young man, and you know, you're able to overcome a lot of different things that most people aren't able to overcome.
I married Casey when I was about four. This fall I moved over there to the block. I probably came over there only twice. I'm from Eastwood. I'm from Fort Worth, Texas, but I'm out of a neighborhood called Eastwood. Basically practical upbringing, you know what I'm saying? Just like anywhere else. Eastwood shit, real ruggish, but it's family, it's heavily family oriented, you know what I'm saying? So ain't nothing pretty about it, but when you in it, you don't really realize, you know what I'm saying? You don't realize how bad it is till you get away from it. When you get away from it and you see how life really is, you see that shit normal. Like, niggas born and raised in the streets, like, families in the streets before we even hear type shit. I'ma say we born into it, but actually active, like, hands-on, like, in the streets, like 10.
It's Kingsley, childhood friend, brother. So originally I'm born in Houston, raised in Fort Worth, you know. I grew up on the south side of Fort Worth. It was a pretty impoverished neighborhood, but you know, we had what we needed and we made the best of it, for sure. My mother was predominantly a single parent, so she really was working constantly. She was working and filled her time up with overtime and stuff to make ends meet. Really not too much to do out here in Fort Worth, you know. It's really a slower paced town, you know. So predominantly as kids, we kind of faced with two options of either becoming an athlete to get up out of here, or like you said, rapping, something within the entertainment industry.
We fighting, we seeing junkies, we playing around with weed, smoking and shit. Niggas get us to snatch purses, all kind of shit, like crazy shit. You was either gonna get down or lay down, but like I said, we individuals, we doing what we wanna do. You know what I'm talking about? Like, we ain't really have to get down to be running with niggas and shit. Expected us, cause how we was so young, early on, and such heavy characters, heavy personalities. They like, we fuck with these little niggas, you know what I'm saying? So
Me and KC became friends closer to, I would say, my freshman year. My freshman year at age 14. KC, he has a very big charismatic personality and a big influence, a big heart. You know, he's real goofy, but a very genuine person.
Funny bro. This nigga serious, bro. One of the things I love the most about my nigga, bro. My nigga make you smile, but even if you don't want to, even if you feel like you ain't got a reason to, gonna come around, gonna make your ass cheese for real, you hear me? Smile hard in the bitch. No, yeah.
Yo, it is your boy KC, and we are back at it like y'all know the rest. Right here on The Vibe, Houston's culture. And man, you know, we talked a little bit about my neighborhood and things of that nature this last segment. But we gonna talk about Night Skool and where the name came from. You know, growing up, I was a non-traditional learner. Like, I couldn't just learn by doing work on paper and things of that nature. I had to go out and bump my head, you know, which I actually did. You know, I bumped my head quite a bit. And a lot of the life lessons that has carried me to this point in my life, you know, I honestly just didn't learn them in school. You know, I learned them out in the neighborhood, off in the streets, you know, dealing with the OGs, dealing with the kids from other neighborhoods, dealing with the kids in my neighborhood. You know, a lot of the life lessons that you got to go through some things to actually learn, right? A lot of the time, you know, these are the people that I relate to. As I got older and I got to college, you know, you got to figure out your why. You have to know your why. And my why is to help the people who grew up how I grew up from the same neighborhoods similar to mine. So the thing about it, they got to hustle during the day. They got to figure out how they're going to eat. You know, they got other things to deal with. They may have to sacrifice their time to help someone else in their family. So a lot of the education that they get, that they need, and things of that nature, they got to go to night school, right? And I just so happen to be able to hold that right here, you know, Professor Vanessa right here over here at The Vibe every Sunday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. You know, truthfully, I have one specific experience, you know. Shout out to my big cousin, Callie, man. And it was just like, it was almost like a Beyond Scared Straight moment. But, you know, this was real life. Like, you know, I've seen everything in 4K. You know, I can't speak too much about it on air. You know, you might have to go meet him and then he'll be able to tell you that story. But he definitely helped put it into perspective for me. I say that. But y'all keep it locked right here on The Vibe, Houston's culture. It's your boy KC, live from Night Skool. You.
That night, hey, look, that night was a bad motherfucker. What? I told his ass. They called me. His people's in fucking Allen. His mom and them Allen, they picked me up. They called me. They're like, hey, Ronald, pick Koran up. He on John T. White, this and that. I'm like, all right. I pick him up. I go get him. I'm smiling, I'm laughing. Like, I get in the car. You know what I'm saying? He in the car. So when we get in the car, we pull off. He act like he was all hurt and he going through some shit he went through. I slap him in his chest. It's on. Nigga, up. We ride, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You about to be a grown man. This is what you want to do? This is what you want to do. First thing we do, we pull up on my homeboy. What he got? He got the stick. Let's smoke. Let's get high. Get high, damn. You know what I'm saying? Hey, no, do this. Cuz like, nah, I don't want to do that though. Now I'm waking him up to street shit. You know what I'm saying? He don't want to do the street shit. So now he realizing like this shit is real. Now, I ain't in my right mind. But at the end of the day, I'll take him somewhere. Boom. We go on the block. You know what I'm saying? We chilling with my homeboys. Nigga, on the block chilling. Dope spot. Nigga, everything though. You know what I'm saying? On some real shit. Cause matter of fact, your homeboy mama was up in there though. Shaking ass all in front of him though. he went to school with? Mama. But at the end of the day, when everything go good, on a bad night, I come in and wrap up everything he thought was going good. He having fun and smiling and shit. Now I come in, and even my homeboys up. They like, nah, why you tripping on him? No, nah, he gonna learn today, nigga. Nigga ain't saying, huh, here go the pistol. You know what I'm saying? Here, you know what I'm saying, this and that. Nah, this is the lifestyle you wanna live, right? You wanna live this lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Look where you at right now. But at the end of the day, you wanna go in the directions towards the youngsters and everything that's going on in your community. Nah, I live this shit for over 30 years. You about to live this shit. So when it came down for him to live it though, you know what I'm saying, you had to make a decision. Either I wanna go to school, play ball, or I wanna be a thug, run these streets and go to prison, probably get killed. Look at him now, though.
He was done with me making decisions for him. He picked himself up and got a U-Haul and drove to Houston.
Casey is a character for sure. He is very intelligent though. I feel like people don't realize how intelligent he is because he is just such a character. I do tune in to Night Skool every Sunday. I feel like it's a dynamic show because nobody too much, especially on TSU's campus, talks about the things that Casey likes to get into. His show, honestly, is just a breath of fresh air for the young guys in Houston for sure.
So Night Skool, which is on Sundays on the Vibe 90.9 from 8 to 10 p.m. Night Skool is basically a show that brings awareness to the culture, and it brings awareness and gives advice to the next generation of students and creatives to come. They showcase so many different people within our community and bring awareness to not only, you know, the things that we see, but the things that we don't see. And it gives advice. And a lot of times, like in our generation, we don't have people who will give advice and who really care about the well-being of our community. And Casey, he really came in and definitely was like one of the rocks when I came out here and moved out here for real, especially like right, you know, before then my dad had passed. And so like he really helped me transition. He was not only a friend, but he became family for real. Not only checked on me, checked on my moms and my peoples. And so, you know, that's why I say like he's a stand-up guy for real.
Yo, it is your boy KC. We are back live from Night Skool right here on the Vibe, Houston's Culture. And look, man, you know, I gave y'all the name, I gave y'all my background, but I know y'all are probably wondering, how did I really get here? How did I develop the talent to even be a radio host and come up with the show and have it on air? It ties in with our word of the week exactly, like precisely. And that is commitment. Commitment is how I got in this place. So I'm gonna tell y'all a little story. This is one of the stories I can tell y'all on the air. I caught myself wanting to be, you know, a rapper. You know, I wanted to be a preacher at a point in time. I wanted to be a teacher at a point in time. I used to want to be like Big Meech. Everything that looked cool, you know, that all black men were doing, I more than likely aspired to be it. But regardless of what it was, I was always committed. I was committed to being the best in whatever realm it was that I was working in. And so it just led me down some good paths and some bad paths, I can say, you know. But all in all, it led me here, you know, to be able to spread a positive message, you know, because I can actually be all of those in one as a radio host. I just was committed to bettering myself in the media realm, start doing graphics, work my way into the radio station, end up learning how to produce. I worked my way into the door like that, and the rest is history. I was just committed to bettering myself in this realm, and I was honestly blessed to be able to have this platform to share my experiences and my actual passion to help our community, you know?
He overcame. He did really good. And look at him now. It's unbelievable.
Yo, it's your boy Shiggy back with KC. I'm kicking it with KC.
It's your boy KC, and you are now tuned in to Night Skool. Class is officially in session.